can share my screen firstly. Yes. Perfect. Okay. My name is Jiang, and Jingwen, would you like to?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Jingwen Zhou. Me and Qian are both a second year PGR of School of Education.
Yes, we are very happy to be here with you to share our experience of having an informal peer review group and to show you how it can support your PhD from really starting point of your marathon PhD life. So our presentation will go the following points from how to build up your very own informal group to what kind of benefits you can gain from your peer review group in terms of writing, presentation, and the emotional supports. So, all right, I'll go for the first one. First of all, I'd like to give you some clues of what is a peer review group. It is a great opportunity for you to seek for help and support from your peers. Your peers for you guys means all the first year PGR students across the University of Glasgow, across the UK, even worldwide. So you can collaborate with your peers, can learn from each other. That's what does it mean by informal. Of course, you can gain so many help and supports from your graduate schools, from your supervisors, from across the university, and particularly our research and development department, who has organized such a great activity for you. But being informal means that you are your owner, you are the owners of your peer review group. You can have whatever you want to learn. You can design your own peer review group. It can be really, really, really informal and casual. We have some other suggestions for organizing your email inbox, because I have been having a human being reminder of what is going on in my mailbox. I know everyone, especially for the first year students, you have tons of emails every day, tons of emails every week and every month. I'm sure no one wants to miss any important message and workshops you would like to engage with. And Jingwen Zhou has been my human being reminder. Sometimes she just shouts to me, Jen, it's the time. That's much more useful than like receive some notification from the mailbox. Yes, of course, the technology helps, but sometimes technology just mess you up. When you form the group, it doesn't matter if you have different interests. I know it will be hard for you to find someone who comes from a similar cultural background with you, or who have a really similar research interests as you. That would be hard. But for me personally, it will be okay if you share different research interests, even if you come from different schools, different departments, or you are one from social science, one from STEM. That will be okay, because you can help. Come on, being a human being, remember, doesn't need to have similar academic interests, isn't it? The final point I want to stress here is that you can always ask silly questions in your peer review group. Jingwen has known every piece of my silly questions since we started our PhD life. That's okay. You can develop a sense of security in your peer review group, which means that, of course, there is no silly question. That's the way we have been told. But there are many, many moments for me, myself, feel like my question is kind of silly. So that's great opportunity, and that's perfect setting to have your silly questions be resorted. Yes, this is the first point I want to say. So next page, it's Jingwen's turn.
Yeah, the second point is we learn how to write from process to product during our peer review group. So firstly, we have to submit the monthly draft to our supervisors. So it's terrific to have someone to monitor your working pace to avoid procrastination. And second one is, I think that's one of the most important parts of the peer review group, because we proofread each other's work every month. I remember at the very beginning, me and Qian, we were quite new of academic writing, especially at the PhD level. At that time, we can only focus on grammatical or lexical issues about each other's work. But gradually, we got more used to academic writing with the help of those valuable workshops, provided by the School of Education and the help of our supervisors, and especially, yes, the peer review members' help. I think after like 6 months, we can focus more on the argument and the criticality, the coherence and cohesion issues in our draft. So that's quite like a big milestone for us in terms of our academic writing. And we always bear in mind that we should write from the reader's perspective, because our PhD thesis is to be public to everyone, and not all our readers are experts of our research field. So we need to be very clear that we should write very clear, and the points should be easy to understand by the public. And yes, we also practice how to give written feedback academically during the peer review group. And by this process, we learn how to give the feedback in the written way, which is very important skills that we need to develop during the PhD journey. Yes, and let's move on to the next point.
All right, apart from writing, you can also gain lots of benefits in terms of presentation from your peer review group. You will need, like, presentation is such an essential component in our academics life. So for your annual progress review, maybe some of you have no clue what it is. It's just that annual progress checking organized by your graduate schools, and your supervisors will see how you present your ideas and how you defend your arguments, including how you convince your listeners. And also for Viva, which is a final examination before you get your diploma, it's really important that you have polished your presentation skills and to show the audience what you have done throughout 3 years. In other settings like conferences, like workshops, like if you want to share some personal experience, which you think will be useful for someone else in such a setting like what I'm doing, you will need to present your ideas. So I'm sure that everyone wants to practice your presentation skills as much as you can and as early as you can. No one wants to polish your presentation skill just 1 or 2 nights before your Viva. That would be scary, isn't it? So in your peer review supporting group, you can do presentation to your peers. There is no afraid to make mistakes, and you can figure out what are the weaknesses and strengths of your presentation skills. Me and Jingwen Zhou always do a short presentation before we're going to review each other's writing. That has helped us a lot. So that's why I'm here to encourage you to have such a group to help you to polish it as early as you can. The final point of the benefits you can gain in terms of presentation, I would like to say here, is similar to the writing, because you can practice how to give oral feedback. That's also very, very critical skills for academics. Like in the classroom, you need to respond to your students, you need to comment on your students' opinions and so on. Giving oral feedback, personally for me, is an art, particularly when someone's ideas are not that correct. You may want to point them out. And for some of us, English is not our first language. Then how you choose your wording, how you structure your sentence, how to make your comments both harsh and soft is an art. So in your peer review group, you can make mistakes. You can be a little bit offensive to your friends, but that's the way you learn. That's the way you correct yourself. That's the way you practice how to give oral feedback politely and nicely to someone else. So next page is a final point. Jingwen.
Yes, the final point is you can always have a shoulder to cry on. As we know, PhD is quite like a daunting, overwhelming, and a long-term journey for every PGRs. And me and Qian, we start our PhD at the same time, so we may have similar phase of our research. which means we have similar worries and concerns about like our research pace, like some publication opportunities, and also we have some worries about our future career paths. So at this point, it's very beneficial to have someone to talk to about all your concerns and worries. So it's quite related to our research. And apart from that, apart from being a study body in the peer review group, you can also be the good friends with your peer review member in the real life. I have to mention that PhD is just one part of your real life. We still have a real life to lead. So you may have concerns or worries raised from your real life. So after each peer review group, me and Qian will just go for a coffee or just have a walk in the Kelvin group park to escape from the PhD life for a while. That's very helpful, I would say. We need those moments, to escape from our research for a while so we can survive along the journey. So yeah, you can always talk about all the issues or even worries and good news happenings in your life. Yeah, you are not alone during the PhD journey. So yeah, that's basically the points that we would like to share today. And thank you, Joanna, for posting our blog into the chat box. You can go for it for further information about our experience of building up the peer review group. And also, I think if you want to find your peer now or later, you can post your requirements on the PGR forum on the Moodle page. Yeah, I hope our presentation is helpful for you, especially when you just start your PhD journey. Thank you very much.